Happy about our results from last Saturday. Obviously didn't start the game very well. And you got to give New Mexico credit. They do a great job coaching there. Their kids came out with their hair on fire and made some plays. Got up 21-0, and had us on our heels a little bit. But our coaches made some good adjustments. We started being much more sound against the option, and we had some matchups that we liked, and we started taking advantage of those, and ended up with a solid win on the road in conference, and was really pleased with our guys' effort after that first quarter. So definitely happy to be 4-1 in the league, and going into another league game, coming back at home this week against Hawaii, a team that I guess the last 4 times we've played them, the visiting teams won. So we're pretty even in the series against them, going against a coach in Norm Chow, who's legendary in his offensive schemes, and we'll have our hands full again this week. So with that, we'll open it to any questions.
Coach, do you feel like your team is finally getting the stride going, as in getting a winning streak maybe going? Do you feel like they're finally figuring everything out?
We're getting closer. We're getting better each week, I think, but we're still not nearly consistent enough. We didn't start the game very well on Saturday, and we kicked the ball out of bounds to open the thing up, and we jumped off sides. Those kind of things. At this point in the season, we shouldn't be doing. And I mean, they are 18 to 22-year-old kids. I mean, they're not going to be perfect, but we gotta continue to demand them improve each week so that we can get closer to being more consistent.
Is there an explanation for the sluggish start on the road?
I don't know that there's an explanation. If you look offensively, we were doing some good things, and we hurt ourselves with penalties in a bunch of games on the road. And so when you do that, you're behind the sticks, it's hard to get started. Defensively, I thought we've done a decent job starting on the road, except until this game. We knew going against triple option offense that they can create some issues, and we didn't fit a couple runs. We gave up some explosive plays, and then on offense we don't communicate an adjustment very well. We throw a ball off the helmet, and they get a kind of a free pick six. So sometimes those things happen in football, and I don't know that that's indicative of guys starting slow. It's just kind of the stars lined up kind of a thing. But we obviously got to get better, and we got to coach it up in there.
You guys have 2 big targets on the outside with Devontae and Victor. How has that progression been with Derek finding them and going to them on a regular basis now?
Well, we think we've got some good players there, good talent. I thought we stepped backwards in our blocking assignments last week. We've got to continue to improve there, but both those guys have the potential to make big plays, and I like how they're practicing. We've just got to get better on the blocking end of things.
Harper was suited up, but he didn't get to play and stuff. Was he capable of playing? He was
capable. He wasn't 100%.
Okay.
And so, if we had to have played him, we could have, but to give him a little bit more time, I think it's going to definitely help him.
And this might be, so do you think he'd be more closer to 100% this week here?
We're hoping so.
Okay. And just having, all 5 of those receivers, can you talk about the, what they bring to the table when you have all 5 healthy and able to mix and match your matchups?
Well, one, in practice, you got better competition. Guys want to start, so you better show up in practice. And, having Josh back and healthy will definitely add to that. I do think we have some guys that have some talent that offenses have to account for. So clearly, every time you have all of those guys ready, you can put more stress on an offense.
Do you expect the same offensive line for this game as last game?
Yeah, I thought the young guy played pretty well. He's going to make some freshman mistakes assignment-wise, but he gives us a physical presence in 2 ways. One, by the way he played, but secondly, having Cody move down inside really gives us a different look to have his mass at the guard position, which is really more of his natural position. So depending on how the week goes in practice this week, that'll likely be our starting lineup for Saturday.
You and Bob Davey had a a pretty long conversation at the end of the game? Not to be nosy or anything, but anything that you want to share from that?
No, he's a former Aggie. We just talked about a couple things. I asked what happened to his hand. I told him that I noticed Coach Calhoun's nose was messed up, and I didn't see any video of it, and I was just wondering what the story was.
How do you
I'm
like?
kidding about that, by the way.
How do you like your position right now in the conference? I mean, obviously you're hanging with San Diego State Air Force for second. It's a log jam here. I mean,
Yeah.
do you like?
Obviously we'd rather be 5-0 right now, because we need help from San Diego State this week or somebody down the road to put a blemish on Boise State. Other than that, I think we've played well not great, but we played well enough to win in conference games. I thought we had a team capable going into this year to compete for conference championship, and I'm hoping, to get some help so that we can, still strive to that goal.
Hawaii hasn't been doing so well this year. What is it that you tell the guys this week to get amped up for this game?
Our guys don't. You don't have to tell them to get amped up. Our guys like to play football. Anytime we got an opportunity, and you only get 12 guaranteed ones, and you get a chance playing Bulldog Stadium in front of the Red Wave, our guys have fun playing football, and so it's just one more opportunity. And for these seniors, 75% of their final year is done. This is going to be one more game that they'll never get back, and so we need to play like it's going to be one of our last games of the year, and because it is.
Did you noticeably figure out that Robbie Rouse was 1 yard shy of 1,000 yards? So you wanted to make sure he did that
For the home crowd, yeah, obviously you could tell that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
No, I had no idea. We don't listen to the feed upstairs. I don't know if the media was talking about it or not. So it'll be nice for him to do it at home. His mom will be up here to see you, so hopefully that'll all occur this weekend. I think he's capable of getting that record this week.
How great was it to see Michael Harris not only get an opportunity, but perform the way he did?
It's really nice. Michael's done a great job for us as a senior. It's tough when you're behind Robbie, and we've got some good backs in there, so he's not always getting his opportunity, but he's really busted his tail on special teams. Has really been a solid performer for us there. But being a running back, he wants to get touches, and he took advantage of his time there, so that was good to see.
LJ Jones, he had his first interception on Saturday. What are your thoughts on his performance?
LJ had one of his better games of the year. He's a guy that's got a fiery personality, so we like to have fun with him. And guys were giving him a little grief over the fact that he had not had an interception. So he got to give it back to us because he finally caught one. And when you play well, good things happen. We would have had another interception, but for his pass interference, so you got to get on him for that. But I was happy to see him get a pick.
You talked about having Cody at guard there. How does the line change or the strengths of the line change when you're going from having him at tackle to guard?
Well, what you're looking at is a guy who's played a lot of football, whose natural position, though, is guard. I think his just body type fits at guard better. When you put him in there versus some of our other combinations, we add to the bulk there. Richard Helpico had a really good day at center, and so having him there and having Cody next to him, Matt Hunt is playing decent. We're solid in there. Size-wise, there's not a huge drop-off from length from Cody to having Alex in there at the tackle. Obviously, there's an experience factor there, but right now that looks like it might be our best combination.
And I know, actually this last week, but are you able to shed any light on Lars' situation there?
No.
Do you expect him back at all this year?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And when I hear something definitive, I'll let you guys know.
Obviously, their quarterback situation had an impact on the game, but aside from that, their O-line in the second quarter had a few plays in a row where they really were pushing you guys back. What changed where you guys were able to hold that line better? Because obviously the personnel didn't change.
I just think we fit things better. It's, you go into a game and their intensity, I thought, to start the game, with their crowd getting behind them, was a little different than ours. And, you know, I think we got punched in the nose a little bit, and, you know, it's time to, you know, fight or flight. And our guys stood in there and fought much better as the game went on once we were down.
And you gonna be all right this week?
I hope so. We thought he was going to be okay, but he you know, re-injured it, or, you know, re-bruised his foot there, and, you know, just didn't feel good about it. And he wants to practice today, so we'll see. You know, he may take a day or two off.
You go from the triple option back to the pro style kind of offense for Norm Chow. Is that, I mean, any different in preparation? I mean, obviously you're going from one drastic to the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I told Coach Peterson and Coach McDonald they're going to actually earn their paycheck this week. They had a vacation last week, but yeah, there's big time changes in how we practice and how we'll, you know, structure our you know, 7-on and play action pass defense. But it's something that our guys are used to, because we've played more pro style attacks this year. And, while everybody's a little bit different, they're much closer to what our guys have got a lot of experience in.
How did you like the way you defended the triple option? I mean, obviously that was the first time you saw it, so maybe.
Very poorly early, extremely poor. We had a couple of blown assignments, and that directly led to some big plays. And, you know, that's the beauty of the triple option when you run it. If guys aren't assignment sound and guys are trusting someone's supposed to take that play and you're running it to the pitch, well, if you're just handing the ball to somebody, everybody can run to the brown belly. When you're running triple option, you know, Phil's supposed to have pitch on the one big play we had early. He doesn't think someone's going to take the quarterback, so he steps in, and now it's out to the pitch. And those kind of things will create big plays if you don't trust and you don't, you know, make yourself trustworthy by taking your responsibility. And obviously we got burned a couple times in that, and it's good to teach off of, because we're going to play a couple more teams down the road that are going to run option football, and I think our guys will, you know, take it a little bit more serious when we practice, you know, against that.
I take it became easier to defend and know what they wanted to do, though, once they lost their top two quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, the fact they lost their top two quarterbacks, you don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it's not like they become easier to defend. Personnel-wise, it become easier to defend because they had two pretty good players that they were out of. But, yeah, they still ran their base offense. They ran a little bit more wildcat, but they had been doing that each week. Obviously, you know, if I'm in their shoes, it's much more difficult when you're playing guys that didn't rep during the week. But it was just, to me, it was more of a function of our guys executing what we had to execute. So.
Nose guard Tyler Davison, he had a strong game in the absence of a few players getting injured. What are your thoughts on his?
Tyler's had a solid season for us. I mean, he really has been a stout figure inside, and really helps our run defense. Knock on wood, we got to keep him healthy, because he's really had a nice year, and we need him in there.
Hawaii's quarterback is left-handed. Does that change where your pressures come from, or you kind of flip it, mirror it the other way? Or?
I think as a play caller, you know, Coach Toth calls it, but when I would call it, I like bringing pressures to the backside of a quarterback. I like bringing things in his front. They'll do some sprint and some naked and some bootleg stuff, and you want to bring pressure into his face. And obviously, left-handed guys are a little bit more comfortable. He'll go to both ways. So some of that stuff may change a little bit, but not significantly so.
They've kind of taken the exact opposite route as far as their transformation, going from spread to pro style, and then you guys did the opposite way. Do you think there's one route that's maybe easier than the other?
No, I think it's all based on personnel. If you've got guys that fit a pro system, it can be, you know, very, very difficult to defend. I think we've got personnel here that really fits a spread offense. I don't know that it's, you know, if we were to come in here and say, I'm a triple option guy, we're going to run triple option with Derek, you know, hey, it's a great offense for Air Force, and New Mexico's doing a great job with it, you know, I'd probably get fired, because, you know, I'd be wasting our guys. But, you know, it's more personnel driven than anything scheme-wise.
In the game against Wyoming, you guys were very good defending third down and whatever. Hawaii is dead last, and nonetheless. what is your, what's going to be the, I guess, the scheme, and what's going to be the play to continue to have success in third down?
Well, the reason our third down defense is so good is we do a pretty good job on first and second down. If you can get teams into third down in 6+, where it's not real manageable, now we can dial up some pressures and do some things to make it tough on an offense. And if it's constantly third down and 1 and third down and 2, you're not going to play very good third down defense. I mean, it's just statistically, it's tough. We got to, this week we've got to play solid on first and second down. If we can get them into third down and long, I like our chances on defense.
Do you expect to get a few more interceptions?
I would hope so.
Down and long?
They're a pretty balanced offense. They're a team that's going to set up the play action pass with their run game. And we've got some guys that done a decent job breaking on the ball, so hopefully we'll get some interceptions this week.
Any other questions for Coach?
Do you like where you stand to the last 3 at home, still in the race for conference title, that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not mathematically eliminated, so although you don't like being in the position where you have to get help from an opponent, I think our guys still have that drive that we need to win every single week if we want to at least get a share of the conference championship. So having 2 of the last 3 at home is big as well. So from that standpoint, yeah, I like where we're at.
How's the team holding up overall? I mean, you haven't had a bye yet, and we're going on game number 10.
Guys, this time of year, they're going to get dinged up, but that happens all over the country. When I was at the Air Force Academy 3 straight years, we played 12 straight weeks. You play what the schedule says you play. And, you try doing things during the year where you vary your practice schedule or your meeting times to try to account for it and try to figure out how much, hitting you need. It's always in art, not a science. It's kind of how the feel of things are going, but I think we're probably at a decent mix right now. You got to have the physicality so you can tackle and block on Saturday, but you got to get guys there. And obviously we got a bunch of guys dinged up. We got to make sure we can finish these last 3.
Who's going to work harder this week, you or your wife, with the food drive?
Well, appreciate you asking about it. She and the other wives on the staff are doing a great job setting up the football family food drive this weekend, and they'll be at the gates outside the stadium before the game collecting canned items as well as cash donations. So Red Wave, please come out and support that. My wife's doing a good job working on that, and as are all the wives on our staff. So it's a great cause, and please support it.
Where are the canned food items going?
I believe it's going to the food bank of Fresno Food Bank. Community Food Bank. I apologize. Can I take that one more time? Fresno Community Food Bank.
Have you ever heard of the golden screwdriver?
How's that drink?
That's all I needed.
Call
Thank
Jim
you.
Jones for that.
Call who?
I'll explain later.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? No? All right.